So we ask Iowans to weigh in with some questions. So, gas prices are rising. Inflation is still a problem. The majority, probably 51% of Americans are still pessimistic about the economy. They still believe we're in a downturn and it's going to get worse. So Brett from Davenport wants to know, as president, what steps would you take? Well, of course, to lower gas and food prices, but to really deal with Bidenomics.
Well, Bidenomics is a failure, despite all the happy talk coming out of Washington, D.C. You can tell there's an election coming up because all of a sudden Democrats at the White House are telling you how their policies are all working. Kind of reminds me of what Groucho Marx said one time in an old movie. He said, "Who are you going to believe, me or your lying eyes?" Right? I mean, the American people see what's happening out there. Inflation's up 16.6%. The war on energy by the Biden administration has caused gasoline prices to be up 60%. They just jumped up again last week. The crisis at our border is 100% man-made, and that man's name is Joe Biden. I mean, we secured the southern border of the United States of America by building hundreds of miles of wall, by negotiating a Remain in Mexico policy with the Mexicans and using Title 42. They dismantled all of that literally on day one. Now we have the worst border crisis in American history. What we're going to do about it is, I will tell you, I think I'm the first candidate for president in our party to come out with a plan to deal with inflation, and just this week we came out with a plan to achieve energy independence again. I mean, look, the inflation that's happening in America today, economists on the right and the left all know is because of runaway spending in Washington, D.C. Kim, you know something about balancing budgets and cutting taxes. We did that back when I was governor of Indiana as well, but when this administration came in office, worked with that Democrat Congress, they spent $2 trillion in unnecessary COVID spending. And every economist in the country agrees that that lit the pilot light on the worst inflation in 40 years. And so what we're going to do is we're going to get spending under control. We're going to cancel unexpended, unnecessary spending in Washington, D.C. And I promise you, as your president, we're going to drive toward balancing a federal budget, and we're going to reform these old programs to save our nation from a mountain range of debt. You know, I think, look, Social Security and Medicare are a promise we've made to the American people, right? We're going to keep that promise. You'll hear the demagogues again, you know, saying that Republicans are going to cut benefits to grandma. It's coming, you know, just put your armor on, all right? But I got to tell you, folks, we were hugging some kids on our way around the corner here, and we just had 3 of the most perfect granddaughters ever born in the history of the world in the last 2 years.
I have 11 of them.
Yeah. All right, now you're just bragging.
I know. Karen says I'm showing off. Yes, I am. Okay.
But we have a national debt the size of our nation's economy today. You know that, Governor. First time since World War II. And I think the time has come to have leadership in the White House that is honest with the American people and says, look, for everybody in retirement, we're not going to change anything. If you got hair the same color as me, it's not going to affect you at all. Frankly, anybody 40 years old or older, we're not going to change it. I don't believe in changing horses in the middle of the stream, right? But for anybody under the age of 40, like that young lady back there, I'd like to have a conversation. That maybe we can reform these New Deal programs and actually give you a better deal by making sure that Social Security and Medicare are actually there for you, and that this mountain range of debt that's driving inflation, it's going to literally bury our economy under debt, and what the Democrats want to do, higher taxes, isn't there. So I think tackling runaway spending, bringing about reform, and I'm going to tell you what, we did it before, we'll do it again. We're going to unleash American energy and allow the American people to achieve American energy independence and dominance once again.
Amen.